Hi, everybody. I'm Bharat Chandra. It's our 75th anniversary season. I'm here to give you my personal take on our Masterworks programs coming up, and I'm hoping it'll give you an insight into how we on stage prepare when we're thinking about the concert experience we want to create for you. Diving right into Masterworks 1, there isn't an obvious theme that unites the works of Johann Strauss Jr., Michael Torke, and Beethoven necessarily. But it is striking to me how these composers all stayed so ultra committed to their values, despite whatever else was happening around them in their lives. You look at the first piece. This is Johann Strauss Jr., the Overture to Die Fledermaus. Honestly, we've all probably walked around singing this music to ourselves without necessarily realizing what it was. You might know it from commercials or movies because it's everywhere. But this is that piece. When we play it, people around you are going to be nodding and smiling and grooving because it's so familiar. But what gets me about this, and we're talking about the 1870s here, by the way, is how Johann Strauss Jr., the younger one, Jr., ends up becoming the so-called Waltz King of Vienna, surpassing the fame of his very famous composer dad, Johann Strauss, the original, after his dad had told him growing up that he should never go into classical music as a career at all. There's actually a lot of entertaining stuff to that particular story, but ultimately, Junior earned a huge amount of fame in his lifetime, and some of it was for this very music. I'll just say, I'm glad he didn't listen to his dad, and you're going to love this. If you happen to be bringing someone new to the orchestra with you, this piece by itself might hook them on classical music. Okay, so we reset the stage, and then you get to hear this incredible violinist, Tessa Lark, playing a concerto Michael Torke wrote for her about 5 years ago called Sky. Now, I'm really tempted to make a birds of a feather joke here because of Tessa Lark's name being like the songbird and because of her gorgeous sound. But they really are birds of a feather, these two, this composer and this soloist. Michael Torke lives in New York now. His career, I think you'd say, defied any kind of tradition. He's been mixing elements of world music, classical, and even pop music for so long that he's almost opened a separate door into the orchestra experience. Tessa Lark is clearly one of the world's great classical soloists, but she's also a fluent bluegrass musician. She grew up in Kentucky and loved all the music around her, not just the classical stuff. So here you have these two Americans, both known for being real masters and both fantastic at weaving together different musical styles. And this piece puts them together. You probably could come to this concert only for Tessa Lark's performance and feel like you've heard something very special. And then, of course, we come to Beethoven, the Third Symphony. Look, if you see Beethoven's Third Symphony on a concert, you go to it. You just do. It's that good and that important in music. It's singable, it's immersive. But what I can't get over is how it's become this kind of a musical time capsule. There were these massive upheavals going on all around Europe when this was written, even beyond the French Revolution. And this piece grew right in the middle of it all. You know, I tend to forget this because I think of Beethoven as just German, but in his time, the region we now call Germany was just part of a big patchwork of states called the Holy Roman Empire. It didn't become Germany as we know it until much later, actually around the same time that Johann Strauss Jr. was writing his overture from the beginning of this concert. So now, we're back at the end of the 1700s with Beethoven. He's just under 20 years old when the French Revolution is beginning. He's taken by this rush of ideas about equality and brotherhood and freedom. Napoleon, early on, seems to be almost an embodiment of these ideals, and so Beethoven ends up writing a Third Symphony unlike anything that's come before from anyone, and he actually calls it Bonaparte, dedicating the entire thing to this man. But, as you may already know, once Napoleon finally reveals his true self to France and to the world, Beethoven can't believe it. He can't handle it. He's disgusted. And he tears off the dedication page he'd made, and he retitles the symphony Eroica, the heroic symphony. Instead of being dedicated to Napoleon, it's now dedicated to the memory of a great man. It's incredible. This fills me up with excitement and makes a concert like this come alive for all of us. It's only our first one of the year, but you don't want to miss it. David Allen Miller's conducting, your orchestra's playing. I'll see you there.